The Speaker of Sri Lanka's Parliament accused President Maithripala Sirisena of usurping the rights of legislators and asked public servants not to carry out his illegal orders. In a hard-hitting statement, Karu Jayasuriya said President Sirisena's actions to sack Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and dissolve Parliament have undermined the freedoms of the people. Sri Lankan President Sirisena has now justified dissolving the parliament on the grounds that members of parliament were allegedly indulging in horse trading. President Sirisena states that the lawmakers were valuing their support at up to 500 million Sri Lankan rupees. The Lankan president also says he feared blood spill in the parliament if it convened on November 14th. Meanwhile, sacked Prime Minister Wickremesinghe's party held protests in Colombo by lighting lamps as a symbol of ridding the country from political darkness. UNP organized a candlelight vigil near the Gangarama temple in the Sri Lankan capital. The protesters are being held against President Sirisena and his illegal and undemocratic actions. The Wickremesinghe-led UNF is all set to move the country's top court. Palestinians commemorated the 14th anniversary of Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat's death. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas paid tribute to the leader, who remained the symbol of Palestinian cause. Arafat had for decades embodied the struggle for independence. He died at the age of 75 in a French hospital on November 11, 2004, with fellow Palestinians accusing Israel of having poisoned him. Israeli security forces have killed 7 Palestinians, including 2 Hamas commanders in the Gaza Strip. According to the Hamas official, the violence erupted when a group of its armed men were fired at from a passing car belonging to Israeli security forces, and Hamas members gave chase. Reports suggest it was an Israeli special forces raid in Gaza that led to flare-up. Israeli forces have also confirmed that one of the special forces commanders have been killed and another soldier has been wounded during the clashes. At least 25 people have been killed in the deadliest wildfires to hit the U.S. state of California. As many as 200,000 people have evacuated their homes as the wildfires engulfed nearly 7,000 buildings. At least 2 wildfires have spread to different regions of California. While the Camp Fire has devastated the town of Paradise, another blaze called Woolsey Fire has ravaged the resort town of Malibu. French President Emmanuel Macron used an address to world leaders gathered in Paris for Armistice commemoration to send a stern message about the dangers of nationalism. Macron called the nationalism a betrayal of moral values, with US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sitting just a few feet away, listening to the speech. Macron denounced those who evoke nationalist sentiment to disadvantage others. In his address on Sunday, Macron said that old demons are reawakening and warned against ignoring the past. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Nadia Murad called on world leaders gathered at a Paris Peace Forum to create conditions for the Yazidi people to return home. Murad was invited to give a speech about the plight of the Yazidi people, an Iraqi minority ethnic group who have been subjected to persecution for many years in the forum. Murad was one of the about 7,000 Yazidi women and girls captured in Iraq by Islamic State terrorists who view the religious minority as devil worshippers. A portrait of a World War I soldier who carved out into the sands of Northern Ireland's Merlo Beach to mark the centenary of Armistice Day. The subject of the picture was John McCann's, a casualty of the war, who was born in the nearby village of Dundrum and died at the age of 22. The event was part of a series of beach tributes entitled Pages of the Sea, organised by British film director Danny Boyle and the 1418 Now Arts programme. The mystery of needles inside strawberries in Australia seemed to have been solved. Police have arrested and charged a 50-year-old woman on 7 counts for contaminating strawberries. She is the first person to be charged in the case and will be brought before a Brisbane court today. A countrywide probe was launched after over 100 reports of needles being found in strawberries in Australia in September. The fruit was pulled out of markets and farmers destroyed the produce. Myanmar government officials say that the country is ready to start repatriating Rohingya refugees from Bangladesh this month. Vice Minister of Home Affairs Major General Ong Thu said that local security forces were prepared to verify the people coming back to Rakhine State and would take action against people with likelihood of terrorist connections. Bangladesh and Myanmar agreed on October 30th to begin the returns to Myanmar in mid-November. Repeated spells of extreme weather has caused the yield of most agricultural crops it produced to drop, with the Greek saffron suffering the worst due to sustained dry spell in June and July in the Kozani prefecture, which is the only saffron production based in Greece. The saffron bulbs were underdeveloped and nearly 1,000 small family farms harvested less saffron than in the previous years. The annual output of Greek saffron is usually about 5 tons in normal years, but the yield this year is estimated at only 2 tons. More than 1,000 Vietnamese took part in Hanoi's Gay Pride Parade. Activists are calling on the government to make a long-table transgender rights law a reality. In 2015, Vietnam changed its civil code to allow transgenders, people who have undergone surgery, to be registered and recognized with their new gender. But a long-promised trans law that would cover a wide range of issues has been stalled, and activists are pushing for more rights and services. The first phase of polling for 5 states begins today. 18 Naxalite-affected seats are going to polls in the state of Chhattisgarh today. 18 seats have roughly 190 candidates in fray. The second set of 72 seats in Chhattisgarh will go to polls on 20th of November. Union Minister H.N. Anant Kumar passed away in Bengaluru on the VRs on Monday. He was undergoing a treatment for cancer in Bengaluru. Following severe complications and infection, Kumar had been on ventilator for the last few days. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Kumar had been diagnosed with cancer before the Karnataka Assembly polls. In a bid to keep Pune streets clean, the city civic body has started punishing people spitting on roads by making them clean the spit. Besides that, offenders will also pay a fine. The decision was taken after authorities found that only monetary fine was not adequate to check the menace of spitting. According to the authorities, the objective behind the punishment is to send across a message to people that when offenders are made to clean their own spit, they feel ashamed, and that next time they will think twice before spitting on streets. UK officials in India's Kolkata city also paid tributes to the fallen soldiers of the First World War at the Bhavanipur cemetery. The British Deputy High Commissioner to Kolkata, Bruce Bucknell, laid wreaths on the tombstones of the soldiers to honour thousands of Indian soldiers who were killed while fighting from the British side. The Indian soldiers laid down their lives in France, Persia, East Africa and other parts of the world. A new dome coach was added to the heritage Kalka-Shimla toy train in northern India's hill town of Shimla. A trial run of the new coach was conducted on Sunday. The Vista dome coach, having see-through toughened glass piles between Kalka and Shimla. The designed coach called Nihar is the first of its kind in the region and is installed to give the passengers, especially tourists, a chance to savor the beauty of the picturesque hills in a panoramic view. The Kalka-Shimla railway line was declared UNESCO's World Heritage Line in 2008. It has been a great tourist attraction since then, and now the new coach will add to the experience even more.